What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sensei Glove, the bald head black anime nerd, back on my review of One Piece manga chapter 953, Once Upon a Fox. This time around, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different as I am in the process of getting myself a new mic. So I'll be doing a couple of my videos like this for a little while. Shouldn't really hurt too much, but without further ado, this chapter was fucking amazing. I really love this chapter. Like it was paced really well, and it really felt like a One Piece chapter to me. And that's something that I do want to applaud Oda for throughout Wano. Although he's been doing a lot of setups, I can appreciate chapters like this that kind of are focused and tell the story in a well-paced and well-flowing way, because a lot of times it kind of just seems all over the place, and it just seems like, okay, we want to see this, but then you jump to this, and we want to see that, but then you jump to that. So when he can actually stay on something and focus and give us piece by piece information and let us push it together and give us a boom reveal at the end, I super can fuck with that, and I really enjoy that. And this chapter kind of embodied that. The last time I can remember us, or me having that feeling was back in chapter 951, which was kind of the chapter where we learned a lot about like law, and then that ended with Kaido and Big Mom's clash. This chapter was very refreshing. I definitely enjoyed it much better than last chapter, and it's actually a surprise because, like I said in my last review, I wasn't really expecting, or I wasn't looking forward to Hiyori, or not necessarily Hiyori, a Kawamatsu backstory. Like the Kappa, like the noob in me fucks with him as like a noob, but he's not really a noob, but he a Kappa. But the One Piece reader in me is like, I don't give a fuck. But this chapter really kind of drove home the point of, okay, we should fuck with Kawamatsu because this is what he means to the story, and so on and so forth. And I really fucked with it. The chapter starts out, we get that letter from Hiyori, kind of like that goodbye from when she ran away. You see the emotion on Kawamatsu's face, and I really fucked with kind of how they were driving that story there. Kind of was like, yeah, what the fuck you think that's supposed to make him feel like? Like his whole purpose after Odin died was to protect the princess, and now the princess isn't here. She ran away. Like, nigga, goddamn, and he's a samurai, so you would expect that he would want to commit suicide on himself. And it was just like, that was very well played. It's like, okay, oh yeah, okay, I see you driving that point home. We kind of move from there to Zoro chasing Yukimaru, and the Yukimaru scenes, as I said in my last reaction, were very interesting because, like, okay, we know that they know each other. So what is their connection? And that was kind of something that I was really into in and during the last chapter was, man, why did he come to this bridge? Because it didn't really feel like he came there to see Hiyori. It didn't seem like he expected to see Hiyori there. We get more of the backstory. Hiyori and Kawamatsu are talking, and he's basically giving her, the backstory. This is what happened after you left. I was really sad. I was down. I was going to commit suicide, this, that, and the third. He went to the bridge to initially commit suicide because Ringo is basically home to all the warriors and great swordsmen who died. Their bodies are buried with their swords. So this is where he wants to commit suicide. So it's easy. It's like, okay, cool. My body will be here. My sword will be here. Shit. We smooth shit. That's a fucking win-win or a lose-lose because that nigga finna die. But you know how I go. But in the process of that, he runs into this fox. And Oda gave us this backstory with the Shimotsuki clan, which is very interesting. And this is another way to tie back to, Oda's fucking amazing ass fucking world building and storytelling. The Shimotsuki village is where Zoro is from. I don't want to say where Zoro is from, but that's where his home was, where he trained with his master as well as Kurina. That was that village. And obviously we know that his master has some type of connection to Wano. This kind of opens the door for that. Okay, the Shimotsuki clan, Shimotsuki village, all right, here's a connection. The next thing we really need is just his last name, and then we probably can go from there, honestly. We get the name of this clan. The leader of the clan was Ushimaru Shimotsuki. He was a master swordsman, but he always hung around with a fox. So he runs into that fox while he's there trying to kill himself, and the fox is basically protecting the shrine of all the swords, and he's been doing that for like 5 years, so he's all beat up, he's fucked up and shit like that. It was like, oh, okay, so this is more of a Kawamatsu backstory, and that was the point where I'm like, okay, I'm actually super interested in this. So Kawamatsu, after meeting the fox Onimaru, they develop a bit of a relationship. Obviously, Onimaru passes out because he's been fucking fighting by himself for 5 years. So Kawamatsu's trying to, nurse him back to health and things like that. But then he notices, oh shit, you've been protecting the shrine. There's hella swords here. He gets to thinking about the actual cause. The story around Wano, for 20 years was that in 20 years, everybody's gonna come back and we're gonna have to fight this war against Kaido. So Kawamatsu gets the bright idea, oh fuck, we don't need these fucking weapons. So he gets to trying to dig them up, and obviously the fox is like, nah bro, even though you saved me, fuck you. Like you're another fucking grave robber. Like fuck that, nah. So this kind of showed more of Kawamatsu's conviction, because as the fox is attacking him, he's like, look, bro, I understand that this is your job to protect these swords, but I need these weapons in order for us to make this entire fucking country better, because it's not going to get better unless we defeat Kaido, and us holding these swords here is not going to help. He was really willing to give up his whole fucking arm to that cause, and the fox basically respected that. So I fucked with that entire sequence. We find out that the Yukimaru was actually Kawamatsu in disguise. Like the moniker of Yukimaru of Bandit Bridge was Kawamatsu's doing, and he basically protected those swords that he was also grave robbing from actual grave robbers with the fox. And we know, obviously, at some point he gets captured. He's in jail, so it's like, okay, who the fuck is this guy? So at that point, kind of can understand, all right, this is where this chapter is going, that he is the fox. But now it's like, how the fuck is this nigga a fox? Like, what the fuck is going on? How is he tied to the fox? So it was at that point that we learned, yes, he is here to meet this fox. Although he thought that the fox might either be gone or dead, because he had been gone for 13 years. So ultimately he knew, well, these swords should still be here, or let me see how many swords are here. In which case he catches up with Zoro, who's obviously stopped because he doesn't know where the fuck the guy is. He saw the door, he notices all the swords that are there, and ding ding ding, like no one fucking already knew, yes, these are the swords that are going to supply the men that are going to fight for the Alliance and fight against Kaido. Kawamatsu gives a call to Kinemon, like, hey, look, don't worry about it, we got all these swords, they locked down, we're good. After Kawamatsu gets off the phone with Kinemon, we cut to basically Yukimaru transforming back into a fox and kind of walking away. So that really just opens the door for that. Like, what the fuck is this fox? Like, is he really just a mythical creature that can transform? Did he eat a fruit that's like the human fruit? Like, there's only one human fruit, so like, is it the transformed fruit? Did he eat like a disguised fruit that lets him transform into whatever the fuck he wants? That's very interesting. So I am interested to figure out. But then we get hit with this fat ass fucking reveal at the end, which is a conversation between Hiyori and Zoro, where Hiyori's basically saying, hey, if your sword is really Shusui, how about you leave this sword here and I'll give you a better sword, or like equal value, which is my dad's old sword, which is Natoi Enma, which is basically called the god of the underworld, the god of hell of Buddhism, which kind of connects to Zoro in some way, because obviously we know Zoro's technique, the Ashura technique, is, basically like a Buddhist style technique. It's symbolized in Buddhism. But it is said that this sword is the sword that gave Kaido his scar, like that scar on like his shoulder, I believe it's on, like shoulder chest, which is fucking crazy. So it's like, oh shit. So this is the power up. And that was something else that was, kind of going on in this chapter, was just talking about how swords have souls. So my thoughts on that, basically, I want for swords to play a role in, a swordsman's strength, but I don't want them to be the defining factor. Like, I don't want Zoro's swords to be what makes him stronger. Like, I want it to be, yes, you are a strong swordsman, but like, you could be a strong swordsman and wield a weak ass sword and still be raw as hell. Like, I don't want a weak motherfucker to be able to have a strong sword and now you OP. Like, it has to make sense. As far as this, I'll give you my father's sword, it cut down or it cut up Kaido, I kind of, in my mind, when I initially read it, I immediately thought, oh, okay, this is probably the sword that Luffy had, because we all know Luffy's gonna fight Kaido, so Zoro can't be the one to take down Kaido, it has to be Luffy. But then I thought, no, that sword had a different name. It was Hitetsu Blade, so it can't be that. But then I'm thinking, like, is Enma just a name, or is Enma actually the blade? Like, how like Black Blade is Yoru, so it's probably somewhere in those, like in that realm of speaking. So that shit is fucking insane. But what I will say is, I don't really want Zoro to use this sword on Kaido, or to use this sword at all, really. Like, I'm okay if that sword's given to somebody else. I don't know who the fuck it would be given to, but I don't want it to be a Zoro sword. Like, if he has to give up Shisui, then let his new sword be the Kitetsu sword that Luffy had. Don't let it be this, oh, it was my father's sword. Like, get that sword to let that stay in Wano. Now, if Oda is setting up Zoro is going to now rule Wano type shit, or some shit like that, or be the protector of Wano, and he inherits this sword on some shit like that, then I'm rolling. But that would mean that Zoro isn't leaving with the Straw Hats type shit. Or it would have to be something that's like end game for Zoro. So after he becomes the world's greatest swordsman, he comes back to Wano, and this is now his job. Because this is something that I've been thinking about, and I'll probably do a separate video on this. Like, what do we think happens at the end? Like, assuming all the Straw Hats live, which I hope one of them at least dies. Assuming all of them live, what happens after that? You know, we see some of the Rogers pirates. You know, they go on to rule countries or be drunks that, you know, stay in Sabaody, do things for fun. They run a bar. It's like, what do they do? Some of them are, you know, they went on to be great pirates like Shanks. Like, what are the Straw Hats gonna do when the things are over? Now, I got a couple theories on what some of the Straw Hats could be doing, assuming they all live, but that's something for another day. But overall, yeah, I really fuck with this chapter. I would give this chapter, compared to last chapter, I'll give this chapter fucking 4.5, damn near a 5 out of 5, because it was just so well paced. And although it wasn't really a setup chapter, it was a backstory storytelling chapter, but it felt good. Like, Kawamatsu isn't a character that I want to give a fuck about, but I did. You know what I mean? Like, I did. I cared about that story. It was a cool, nice, well paced, well flowed chapter about Zoro, who's the GOAT, and we're getting more of that backstory. I would love for him to continue this so we can just dive in. If you can give me the next 4 chapters of just Zoro like lore, I'm super on it. Like, good shit, Oda. Like, I definitely 4.5 out of 5. This is a great fucking chapter. I have a newfound respect for Kawamatsu. I fuck with this Fox. I hope he shows up to some capacity later on. I still think that a lot of shit is going too well for these motherfuckers at this time, but I'm still fucking with it. So other than that, guys, fuck with your boy Sensei Le Glove. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at Sensei Le Glove. Fuck with the podcast, Worst Generation Podcast. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. Let me know what you thought of my review. Yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Sensei Le Glove out.